In this video, I'm going to talk about A Most Potent Brew, which is an introductory first level adventure for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. It is written by Richard Jansen Parks and published by Winghorn Press. Now, I recently ran this adventure for some of my players. We were introducing their characters to the 4th Age campaign that I've been setting up, and I felt this was an absolutely wonderful introductory adventure. It starts off in a classic location for an introduction adventure at a tavern. There, the characters are going to meet Glowkindle, the gnome who owns the establishment, the Wizard's Tower Brewing Company. Glowkindle recognizes the adventurer's prowess and decides to ask them to help him with a little rat problem he has. You see, he's been trying to expand his cellar. He's an industrious feller, and the workers found an old wall in the basement. They popped a hole in it and out came rats. So he wants the explorers to, number one, go and kill any of the large rats that are down in the cellar. And number two, he wants them to explore what's beyond the wall. He's willing to pay, and so the characters say yes. Now in my adventure, I decided to use the Shady Dragon Inn as the setting location for this particular adventure. One of the things about A Most Potent Brew is it is very easy to pick up and put down pretty much anywhere you want. And I'm a huge fan of starting adventures at taverns, and so this one worked very well for me and my group. Now, it's important to recognize that this is a free adventure. You can download it in the links below. However, because it's free, no map is included. For me, I drew a map out for my players. This could be run in a theater of the mind or create a map pretty easily. It's not that hard. Room number one is the beer cellar. As the characters go down the stairs, they are in the cellar, and hidden amongst all of the big barrels of ale and whatever else might be down there are 8 rats lurking in ambush. These rats are wild animals. They are not coordinated, so the combat should be hectic, but relatively easy for the player characters. In fact, after 5 rats are killed, the remaining rats will flee into the hallway over to room number 2. Now, this is actually really important in this room because these rats are going to end up dying to the traps in room 2, and they need to be there as clues to the players as to how to get through room number 2. If, for example, the characters are able to kill all of the rats before they flee, like my player characters did, what you can do is explain that there are rat noises coming from behind the hole in the wall, as well as panicked rat sounds and even some slicing and squelching, and that kind of gives a hint that, number 1, there are more creatures behind the wall, and number 2, it sets the scene for what the players are going to see when they get to room number 2. So after dispatching with the rats in the beer cellar, the players get to room number 2, which is the mosaic corridor. This is an awesome room. It is a wonderful little puzzle trap. It's excellent for new players and for introductory characters because it is a solvable puzzle with a bit of a challenge, but it's not too overbearing. Basically, the floor of this room is a mosaic that looks like this. There are 4 panels. It comes along with a poem as well as a few clues because there are dead rats sliced up on certain parts of the mosaic floor. Essentially, what the player characters have to figure out is they have to walk across the mosaic, only walking on the parts of the mosaic that work with the puzzle. The puzzle is not incredibly hard. My player characters were able to figure it out. They weren't 100% confident though, so they used some other problem-solving techniques, including using Mage Hand to pick up one of the half of the rats that was sliced up by blades and then begin dropping it into the other parts of the mosaic floor, watching whether or not blades would come up and slice through that rat. Room 3 is a well room. Basically, in the center of the room is a well going downwards, and there's a table and some other stuff in this room. Coming up from the well are going to be giant centipedes, especially if any noises made. Like this room just kind of reinforces how important noise is in dungeons. Oftentimes that part of it is ignored, and I like the fact that this particular room works well with that. My player characters saw the centipedes coming. They were able to flip the table, put it on top of the well with like a cap, and move on to the next room. Room 4 is the lab. This room is awesome. I love this room because around the room are empty or smashed potion bottles. There's also a giant inferno spider, which I believe is a new monster that is hiding behind some of the bookshelves, maybe on the ceiling, something like that. Basically, this is a regular spider that drank some potions and turned into a giant inferno spider. Eventually, given the clues on the ground, the characters may figure out what happened, but they will be attacked by the giant inferno spider, and this is the boss fight for this introductory adventure. Just beyond this room is a storeroom where they're going to find the treasure and get a chance to use their knowledge that, hey, random animals drinking potions is not a good combination. If they act quick enough, they can stop a rat from becoming a giant rat in one final moment where the characters can show how much they've learned after going through this dungeon. Heading on back through, the characters will head back to Glowkindle and tell them, hey, what we did is we finished clearing out your cellar. Guess what? It's much bigger down there. can we have some gold? And that is the adventure. Like I said, this adventure is an amazing introductory adventure for new players especially. It also would work as a one-shot introducing level 1 characters to a campaign because it can really start anywhere. Anywhere there's a tavern, this adventure can be run. And I think it acts as a palate cleanser for the few people in my group who are a little bit more experienced, kind of helps them flex their role-playing and puzzle-solving muscles without needing to push too hard on the very first adventure. What I did with this adventure is I added one small wrinkle. The bottom of the well, I said, was a tunnel, and the tunnel led off to module B1 in Search of the Unknown, an old school Dungeons and Dragons module. So my next adventure for this group is going to be the old school module B1 in Search of the Unknown. So that's it. A most potent brew is a wonderful introductory one-shot adventure for new players or players looking for a palate cleanser to start a new campaign. I hope you enjoyed this recap and review. You can download this adventure at the links below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.